Hello my friends and welcome back to another Brotato Danger 5 random run. Hope you're all doing well. Today of course we're taking a random character, random weapon, and trying to beat Danger 5 with it. Let's see what we get. I want to also take a moment to say thank you so much to Jonalov Holt for the 25 kroner donation. Thank you so much my friend, I really appreciate it. Alright, so we got the saver. I believe I've done the saver already in this run. Just looking at my... No, okay, we haven't covered the saver, so saver it is. So this is a really interesting character. We get additional harvesting and additional damage based on our held materials, so we need to build up a large bank, start with a piggy bank, but items cost 50% more. The main advantage that the saver has is that you still drop full materials from enemies, so you get 100% experience gain, plus the additional harvesting. So we're going to be ahead on levels even as we're behind on purchasing items. You're still going to end up weaker than most other characters, although you will have a fairly strong late game thanks to the free percent damage that you get from your materials held. In my guide I used the spear, so we won't be going with that, but any of these others I think are fair game. Let's see what we get. Alright, well, immediately got the spear. Cacti Club. Okay, so this is going to be a rough one. Cacti Club is a pretty weak weapon in general because it needs both melee and ranged damage in order to scale the thorns and the melee attack, and you don't get full scaling on either, so you end up a little behind on damage regardless of whether you decide to focus on melee or ranged. Of course, with the primitive and heavy weapon tags, it's got two excellent weapon tags, so we're going to end up with extra damage and extra health, so that will hopefully see us through the early game. We should have a pretty slow opening round just because our attack speed's going to be bad. I'm just going to very happily tank damage here to maximize our income. Notice that the thorns do basically nothing until you've built some additional range damage. We actually got quite... ended up with a very healthy bank off the beginning round. That's pretty good. Notice that Saver starts with 15 harvesting. You always gain 1 at the end of the first round, so if you find a harvesting upgrade, then you can immediately start increasing your harvesting by 2. When you get to 21 harvesting, this 5% increase, the 5% compound interest, is rounded up, not down, unlike every other number in the game. So 21 harvesting will start getting you 2 per wave instead of 1 per wave. Very important to hit that breakpoint, and Saver gets to hit it immediately. I'm going to try to just fill out our weapon set here. Cacti Club is also a very expensive weapon, which is definitely a problem for it. We will lock the coupon, and the more expensive weapons are even worse because of the Saver's 50% item price increase. Coupon will still pay for itself well, even though this is just going to... The way this will work is it will change the 50% to 45%, so it's less efficient on Saver than on other characters, but it's still going to be valuable with the coupon. And then I'm going to grab the Cacti Club as well. I think we will not lock the Lost Duck or anything like that, because we need to focus... You have to be very disciplined with your shop on this character. Otherwise, you're just going to end up too far behind because your items are so expensive. Of course, luck is pretty valuable on this character because shop item price also determines the sell price of items. So if you drop an item, decide you don't want it, and then recycle it, it recycles for more on this character than it does on other characters. So it's very much worth picking up luck in order to generate crates because those items will then sell for more. It's also just a higher opportunity gain because, of course, you're finding for free a more expensive item than you would on another character. Let me grab this harvesting again, and then here I would take attack speed. I might roll to see if we can just get a little more harvesting. If we can get that really high early, that will help a lot, but I'll just take 4 melee damage. A level 2 upgrade is excellent. Here I'm going to grab this Cacti Club and lock the Peaceful Bee. We'll still take Peaceful Bee, I think, even though it decreases melee and ranged. No, actually, we need both melee and ranged on this character, so I don't think we can afford to take Peaceful Bee. Just going to roll and lock another club. 4 with 5th locked is actually a very good opening shop for Saver. Usually you do not, just because your weapons are so expensive, so it's hard to roll aggressively, but we got pretty lucky. So I'm pretty happy with that. One advantage that Cacti Clubs do have is that all the projectiles allow you to lifesteal a little more easily. So we can build lifesteal even as a melee character. That said, I'll still take this mushroom, I think, because health regeneration is just good, and I'm going to keep buying harvesting whenever it shows up. Here, I am kind of torn. I want luck, but I think we need attack speed. Cacti Club has very bad base attack speed, so increasing that is going to help us a lot in terms of actually making us able to kill things. Let me buy this. Oh, whoops. Should have bought the coupon first, because of course I was going to buy the coupon, but so I cost myself a material there. Do I want helmet? I think we're going to pass on the helmet and roll, because I really am hoping to find another Cacti Club, which we did. Now that we've maxed out our weapon sets with 25% damage and 15 HP, we're in really good shape, and I'll lock this lemonade. Do I want to throw in another reroll? I believe I do. I'm going to take the weird ghost, I think, because we need to build HP. This is a pretty cheap and efficient way to do that. We already have 3 regeneration. Going into wave 5, it's a little risky to buy weird ghost, but hopefully I can just not walk into enemies. Yeah, so notice again that our spikes are not really doing anything. We're just basically an 80% melee damage scaling weapon with Cacti Club, which obviously is not a great weapon to be, although the weapon set does give you some advantages there. I'm just going to take the level 3 HP. We now have 43 HP going into the next round. That's going into wave 5. That's really high, so I'm pretty happy with that. Level 2 Cacti Club gets better base damage, actually gets 10 more base damage. I'm trying to read these items more carefully as I level up, because I have noticed a couple times I've missed some things they do. And it gives you an extra projectile. It also, same move speed, same knockback, but slightly faster attack speed. So I think Cacti Clubs actually level pretty well, because the extra projectile is useful once you get some range damage, and 10 more base damage is a pretty good ratio, especially because that's increased by 25% naturally by your heavy weapon tag. I'm going to lock the duct tape, actually, even though we don't want engineering. I do want to start building armor pretty early, and our HP is really good. So let's roll, buy another lemonade, that's awesome. And then I'm going to not lock the helmet. I think I would rather spend 56 and 2 HP than 56 and 2 speed on an armor. So have to be careful here. Just wait for our HP to tick up a little bit, our healing to tick up a little bit, and then hopefully we drop a consumable soon. We should now have enough that we don't die in one shot, and then now that I've picked up a consumable, we're okay. One item to look out for when you're using Cacti Clubs is the Lumberjack shirt, because it allows you to break trees with the spines even when they're not doing any damage. Gonna grab this harvesting, which is great. And then, so percent damage, you will end up with pretty good percent damage on this character, because you're gonna end up saving a lot of money. And going into this next wave, I'm going to try to keep a bank so we can start having our piggy bank actually tick. But this is basically the equivalent of having 200 materials in the bank for our triceps. I think it's 1 per 25 held materials. So this is still going to be really good. Let me make sure. Yeah, 1% per 25 held materials. So that's still going to end up being a lot of additional cash. A lot of additional damage, which is the equivalent of 200 held materials. Very worth still building percentage damage on this character. I'll lock the recycling machine. I think we are not going to end up building Tentacle, because critical hit chance we have a base 3%, so you're not very likely to crit with this weapon, and it's kind of hard to build crit on this character. On the other hand, we will multiply our percent damage, which is good. So I think I'm going to lock the tentacle and make the decision as to whether I'm buying it or not next round. I will also buy the recycling machine, because if we drop any crates, that will be worth extra money. I'm going to try to leave about 100 in the bank so our piggy bank can start giving us some income here. Rule of thumb for Saver, I think, is starting wave 4 or 5, you want 100, and then you basically just try to increase your held materials by 100 every wave. To maximize the piggy bank. At least that's what I have found sort of has the best split between actually getting you piggy bank income, but also allowing you to spend your money. And then in the late game, you probably just want to pretty much just spend only the interest. Because as your shop improves, the recycling machine already paying dividends here, which is kind of nice. As your shop levels up, the expense of items goes up, and the increased expense of the Saver's items goes up even more. So you're going to end up having more efficient damage just from holding materials than from spending them in the late game. Get to recycle that, and then we'll recycle this as well. If I didn't have the recycling machine, I might keep this just because it's one extra regen if we find fairy, but I think 16 materials is not worth that. Here, I could buy 3% lifesteal or just 9 more max HP. I think in this spot, I'm actually just going to go with more max HP. And because we already have 2 consumable heal. So I'm feeling okay in terms of healing for this point in the game. We'll want more soon, obviously. But if I can just get my max HP really high, then that's one stat we just don't have to worry about going into the late game. I think I am going to buy the tentacle here. I'm going to do duct tape, tentacle, and lemonade. Roll once. Ritual is really good. Weird Ghost going into wave 7 is a little more risky. How do I feel about that? I think I'm going to pass on that, but I am going to buy the Lost Duck because I do want to increase our luck. We'll hold with 160 here. Weird Ghost, still an efficient way to buy HP, but just because wave 7, you have to... There's specific enemies you need to kill, and you're going to have these big slashers, which you need to play aggressively against to either break the eggs or kill them. I tend to think that we would lose more money than the value we gain from buying one efficient item. Starting to think maybe I should have bought that lifesteal last round, just because our healing isn't quite keeping up, but... Oop, walked into a bunch of enemies there, but with our consumable healing, I think we should be okay. Did have to play the end of this wave a little more carefully, but that's fine. Alright, here I'm going to recycle the boxing glove, and then I think I am going to start picking up lifesteal. I would like more harvesting as well, of course, but at this point we do need some healing. I will still take the fertilizer, though. In fact, I'm going to buy this whole shop. So, how much money do I want to try to hold? Let's buy the fertilizer for sure. And I think I'm going to buy the level 2 club, lock the level 1 club, and just go into the next wave with 300 so our piggy bank can tick for 60 here. This is a little greedy, I think, but the earlier we can start building up a bank, the better. So one thing to note about the Cacti Club is that you can't lifesteal more than one. Any weapon that fires multiple projectiles at once, you can only lifesteal 1 point off of a single shot. So a shotgun doesn't lifesteal off of every pellet, but each has a chance to proc the lifesteal. So you'll still get more lifesteal off of these weapons with multiple projectiles, you just won't be able to get tons of lifesteal off of single attacks. So even though we're hitting everything on the map all at once, we're not getting just infinite lifesteal. Very happy to grab some melee damage. Here, I think I'm going to start building some ranged damage as well. That will help with our thorns, which will start adding up in terms of their damage output. Grab the ritual and the cacti club, and then I'm going to sit on 300 because I do think we need to start leveling up our weapons here, although in this spot I think I might just stay on 360 and lock the coupon, because buying the coupon will end up costing us piggy bank money, and if we're not buying anything else, then it's better just to lock the coupon and save that money for later. So now our thorns are hitting for 3. Once these start hitting for like 10 to 15, they start being a real contributor to your damage. But obviously that's a ways off. I do need just more flat damage, but in particular what we're suffering from in terms of damage output is attack speed, because cacti clubs have very bad base attack speed. We just don't have very much. Also, leveled up weapons would be really nice as well, but that's just one of the issues of Saver, is it's hard to level your weapons. I would also like just a little more movement speed, because it is starting to be hard not to take hits, although if we get either attack speed or damage, that will help with that as well. There we go. We made it up to 900 that wave, which is obviously excellent. Let me grab this cake, and I'm going to continue to buy regeneration, I think. Maybe I should reroll this, see if we can get something better. Yeah, let's see if we can get something that we need more. Definitely just very happy to take armor here. I want to build dodge as well, but we need to get our armor up to like 5 or so, and yeah, I'll definitely just take 6% speed. Just getting a little bit of extra speed will make us a lot more survivable, especially going into the elite fights. Let me grab this coupon and the medal. I think I'm going to try to keep 400, maybe 500 in the bank, depending on what we roll. And having rolled some excellent items, I'm going to go with trying to keep 500 in the bank. Do I want this garden? We have 3 lemonades, so it's a lot of healing. I think I am going to lock the garden. Just taking a quick look at the level 3 Cacti Club. No increased damage scaling. We have no crit chance, so this tentacle was a very poor purchase, by the way. I should not have gone with that. But slightly faster attacks and an additional projectile, so as well as 10 more base damage. So leveling these up is generally not terrible, just because the base damage goes up. Obviously, some more items that we are looking for are crown. Anytime you're on a harvesting build, crown is one of the best things you can find. Just more lifesteal would be really nice. And piercing effects are pretty good on this character, just because it lets you spread the damage out very well, which lets you more reliably lifesteal. Have to play a little carefully here, because we actually have taken a lot of damage. Now that I have 3 armor, where we can take hits a little more easily, but it's still not great. Here, do I want to start boosting my crit chance, start boosting my dodge, just grab max HP. This is kind of an interesting decision point, because 6% dodge doesn't help much by itself, but you do need to start building dodge somewhere if you want dodge. I could also just grab 6 more max HP, or I could reroll to find a more useful stat. I think in this spot, because we're going into the elite wave, I'm just going to take the max HP. That will hopefully help keep us alive. And then here I am going to buy the metal and the garden. I'm going to not worry too much about holding materials for this wave, but I will lock rather than purchase the gentle alien, just because we're going into an elite wave. And then I'm going to buy the gambling token as well. We do lose 1 armor, but that does let us start building dodge. I'm going to re-roll this just in case there's something really valuable for us here. The clover we will want, and the lumberjack shirt we will want, but neither do I need to buy in order to help with the elite wave. Really there I was just looking for something with healing. I don't think we're going to be able to kill the elite, but I'll check my damage against it. Yeah, it does not look like we're going to be able to kill it, so I'm just going to try avoiding it for this wave. Cacti Club is just such a low damage weapon that it's very hard to kill elites with it. Took a lot of hits here also. I need to go pick up some of those fruits. Very happy that I've bought that garden actually, because we were suffering from having no healing options. That's a place where the lumberjack shirt would have helped, because we hit the tree with a bunch of thorns. And it didn't die, of course. Would love to kill this loot alien. I don't think we're going to be able to in 13 seconds. Where'd he go? Alright, down here. Maybe if I sit on it. Yes, got it right at the end. 2, 1, and didn't even die for it, which I was kind of expecting to. Gonna recycle the book again for the same reason. Recycle the eye surgery. That's great. Baby Gecko is pretty good on this character because as you pull materials to you, you get more damage. So I will take this. It's not like Streamer or something where pulling materials to you during the wave has a huge effect. The Baby Gecko might get us 1% more damage, but it is a marginal upgrade on this character. And of course, it's just an item that's worth picking up, I think, often. Gonna take flat melee damage here, because maybe we can get our damage to be a little bit higher. And then let's buy this, and this, and this, and I'm going to sit on this exactly 600 with my piggy bank going into the next round. Try to really start taking off in terms of generating compound interest. I do occasionally like to look at some of the ways people find my videos, and one of the search results that found my original, and you can see like what people have been searching for when they find your video through YouTube search. One of the search results that brought people to my original saver guide was for financial advice. And so if that person happens to still be watching, I'd like to just say, do not take financial advice you find on YouTube, especially not in a video game. But just to be very clear, I am not providing financial advice in these videos. That said, if you find the gaming advice that I do provide in these videos to be helpful, consider leaving a comment, liking the video. Both of those things help a lot, and I would appreciate it very much. YouTube's also started surfacing in the analytics whether people have turned on notifications for your channel, and whenever they put something in the analytics, it probably means that it is being used to determine whether they're driving traffic to your channel. So I know this is super annoying, but if you do feel like turning on notifications by hitting the bell for my channel, then that would help me out as well. Alright, let's grab the bait here, I think. And I will, at this point, take the helmet. Here I'm just going to grab more lifesteal. That's going to be very good for us. Would love to get that to a reasonable value pretty soon. I'm definitely going to take the lens. Increasing our flat range damage is still worth it, I think, and this is a cheap way to do that. And I will take Goat Skull as well. Our crit chance is never recovering, but that's okay. Level up our Cacti Club and buy the metal, and we'll stay at 670 here going into the next wave. This is pretty good, I think. I need to be a little careful because, of course, we've got the bait aliens spawning, and they do a lot of damage and are very hard to avoid. Our thorns are hitting for 4 now, so still not a huge contributor to our damage, but they are relevant. One other issue with Cacti Clubs as a weapon is that starting in wave 14, we're going to get the slugs spawning, and the thorns will very easily break the summoners, but won't be enough damage to kill the summons. So we're going to be, no matter what we do, summoning a lot of enemies. in Wave 14, and so that's going to be a real challenge for us to face. Once I get a little more dodge and a little more armor, combined with our lifesteal, we should be able to reach the point that most melee characters want to reach, where you just are invincible and charge right into all the enemies. Sure, I'll take more health. Here I'm going to take 9% dodge. I would love to increase that. I do want to get to 10 armor pretty soon, but the dodge is just so valuable here. We cannot afford to take Torture on this character, I don't think. We need to heal more than 4 HP a second, because we are just going to be taking so much damage that it's very hard to avoid that. I'm also not going to buy Silver Bullet, because we just are never killing elites, I don't think. I will upgrade the Cacti Club and roll. Piercing projectiles is very interesting. I think I will... I think I'll buy the bandana. I mean, it costs me 20% damage because we also lose 10% by spending 250. Yeah, no, I don't think that's worth it. We're just gonna sit on 900 here and just try to boost our damage through the Saver passive. So with those slugs, I talked about this in my enemy tier list, but what you want to do is break them and then stand next to the X's so that the enemies spawn and then you can kill them immediately. Oh gosh, I did not mean to break all 3 of those at once. Because what you don't want to do is stomp the spawn, because that will make it appear elsewhere in the level and then you'll have to hunt it down. This is some misinformation that I gave in some of my earlier videos, where I thought that stomping on the X would cause the enemy not to spawn. It in fact makes it spawn elsewhere in the level. You can see we're really struggling, but I expected to struggle in Wave 14 just because we're breaking so many summoners. It's really hard to stop the summons from stacking up. Ended up still making 500 that wave, so it's okay, but it could be a lot better. We do lose range damage for the cute monkey, but we're struggling to heal, so I'm going to take it. And I will take the gambling token as well. Up to 30% dodge here, that's great. Do we want to lose 6% dodge for melee and ranged damage? I think that's okay. I'll take the alloy here. And then I'm going to buy 2% lifesteal as well. Try to get that going. Alright, we're going to lose the 2% lifesteal because I think Clover is still too good to pass up here. Roll. Bloody Hand. Now this is what we're talking about. So obviously this is one of the best items in the game. You're always happy to see this one. One good reason to build luck is you can roll items like Bloody Hand. This should solve all of our healing problems as well as giving us a bunch of damage. Very, very happy to see that one. I will sit with 836. I guess I'm going to throw in a reroll here and just be at a little over 800, lock this Cacti Club, and go to the next wave. So now that we have the Bloody Hand damage, we might actually be able to fight the elites. Let me see. I think we're going to be just short for this one, but maybe next elite we'll be able to fight once I've built up a little more damage. Yeah, I don't think we're going to quite have the damage to kill this elite. Again, too many summons stacking up, so I need to be very careful. And I need to, because our healing is lifesteal based. Oh, I just walked into that. Our armor was too bad because I took the gambling tokens. I think that wasn't a mistake, but we also missed a lot on those dodges with 30% dodge. Not like a guaranteed dodge or anything, but I also played that round very badly, I think. Yeah, I think even Bloody Hand obviously is still very good, but I think the main mistake I made this run was just not going HP regeneration as healing. I was starting to say this right when we died, but the way that lifesteal interacts with melee weapons means that you have to put yourself in danger to use them, even with the Cacti Club, which makes ranged lifesteal attacks, sort of. And so it's hard to avoid taking extra damage. I also changed directions in the middle of that elite wave, which is always bad. Like, you want to decide immediately whether you're going to fight the elite or not. What I did was do enough damage to it to get it into its much more dangerous second stage, and then decide that I wasn't going to be able to kill it, which really messed me up, because then it's doing these slashes all over the ground, causing me to take a ton of damage. And just because, even though Cacti Club has the thorns, you still can't lifesteal more often than it attacks. We didn't have a lot of attack speed, so lifesteal actually was a very bad healing method for this character, and I also have this wasted purchase of the tentacle here. Otherwise, I'm pretty happy with the build, but the way that the shops broke, I definitely should not have been focusing on the tentacle, and also lifesteal was just a mistake as a healing item. Probably should have either committed a little harder to dodge earlier, or just gone for armor and not try to split the difference and build both. Wave 15 was tough too, because I had enough ranged damage, I think, from taking the alloy. The alloy was also a mistake. I should have just recycled that for 200, I think. Because I took the alloy, we lost 6% dodge, which made me much more susceptible to enemy damage, and also meant that we had enough range damage to break all the slugs on this level while we were trying to dodge around the elite, but not to kill them. So there were so many summons that stacked up that it was really hard to dodge. Alright, so this is one that I think would have been very easily winnable if I just hadn't misplayed, or had just had slightly better movement, but sometimes you mess up. So as always, my friends, I hope that you've enjoyed this video. I will probably return to this one at some point soon, just to show that it can be done, because I think we were getting pretty close. I just made a couple key errors. And yeah, as always, I hope you've enjoyed the video. Please feel free to leave a comment, like the video, and subscribe to my channel for more Brotato and other strategy game content. Cheers, my friends. I'll catch you next time.